moving on now to the political discussion. Remember, all of this has happened today. 2 crore plus has happened. Why? Because it is Mr. Narendra Modi's birthday. So now there's an obvious question. How did we, if, as Dr. Arora just said, if we have a only 25 crore supply, how did we have a situation that on one single day we were able to vaccinate 2 crore plus? How is that possible? So does this mean that were states stockpiling? Or does this mean that we planned it in such a way that this becomes an event around the Prime Minister? I think that's pretty obvious. Apart from that also, many of these events that are being organized from now for the next 20 days are being seen as an image correction exercise, that the government was criticized for its bad handling of the second wave, and that's why an image building exercise is being brought about. Look at that state breakup on Friday. Each and every state, the number of vaccinations that have been done in each of these states, in Karnataka, in Bihar, in Uttar Pradesh, in Madhya Pradesh, they are the ones who are contributing to that 2 crore plus. But how about doing this every day? And most importantly, in the political question, if this is an image correction exercise, is that really going to work? Let me now introduce Mr. Gurdeep Singh Sappal, National Spokesperson of the Congress Party. Ashutosh is a senior journalist. Professor Geeta Bhatt is also with us, and Dr. Sarjeet Singh Dang, former Minister of the UP government and leader of the BJP. Thank you very much. I want to begin with you, Mr. Sappal. The government calls this a great achievement, which it is. But at the same time, do you feel that if this were an image correction exercise, it will necessarily work?
Sanket, it's a fact that 75 crore plus people have been vaccinated. And it is also a fact that our Prime Minister is a great event manager. And you created an event by starving the supply chain for last few days so that 2 crore target can be met. But since he is so fond of events, today there was another event. We would have preferred a discussion on unemployed youth tweeting against unemployment today. 2.5 million plus people tweeted on that issue. We would have liked that should have been an event in this country. Nevertheless, we know that a lakh people are losing their jobs every day. But let's talk about vaccine only, because that's the topic today. This event will not hide the fact that last week there was a news that ICMR report for...
You know, Mr. Sappal, let me quickly come back to you, because we're not being able to understand what you're saying properly. There seems to be some audio issue. We'll fix that and come back to you. Ashutosh, do you feel that this image correction exercise will necessarily work?
See, Sanket, I think what I call it, that there is an attempt to turn a spectacular failure into a spectacular success by a spectacular event. It's nothing more than that. And why I say so, because in totality, if you look at today, government might be talking about that they got more than 2 crores vaccination in a day. But the fact is how it happened. It happened for the 2 reasons. One, it was thanks to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has nudged, pushed, intimidated, threatened the government. Otherwise, government policy was in a mess. You remember when the Supreme Court has said, show me the file notings. Supreme Court had gone to that extent. Forget about that. You remember when the vaccination process started in this country? The first day, I still remember in June, I think it was, a record was made on that day. But very next day, what happened? The Madhya Pradesh, we talked about, they created a record. The very next day, they had only 526 vaccination in a day. So this 2 crore vaccination in a day or more than that is just an image correction exercise. I will be more than happy if 2 crore now onwards becomes a norm, not just an exception. My worry is that tomorrow onwards, it will again go back to 50 lakhs, 40 lakhs, 30 lakhs or 60 lakhs. If they could continue with the 2 crores, I will be the most happy person on this earth.
No, all of us will be, like we are today, but we want continuity and not for this to remain a one-day event. Now, you know, Dr. Sarjeet, I'm sure you heard what Mr. Ashutosh said. He said that the Bharatiya Janata Party has attempted to convert a spectacular failure into a spectacular success with a spectacular event. Is this what it is?
I strongly put my objection to the word image correction. Was it a bad image? The image all along was bright, and the people of India, they have expressed by this attendance of the people who wanted to get vaccinated. Today, they have shown their trust, their faith, their love, and their confidence in the leadership of Shri Narendra Damodar Das
No,
Modi
they've
on
shown
his
their trust in the
71st birthday.
vaccine because they don't
It
want to fall
shows,
sick
it
again.
shows, it shows. No, please, try to listen me. Don't try to correct me. I must be at least free to express my own opinion.
Absolutely, sir.
Don't try to put words into my mouth. Mr. Sanket ji, please. Whatever these two scientists, I was hearing all the discussion and the data given by them. The fact is that polio vaccine, vaccine for TB, triple antigen, all the vaccines, they took 10 to 12 years to come to this nation, enter even India. And this was the leadership which has done a miracle by getting it manufactured here, not only manufactured here, making a proper system. It takes time, yes. It was an unwarranted and unexpected, corona was not expected. And they have done it wonderful. And today, by getting the people of India, 2 crore and almost 25 lakhs people have got vaccinated. That shows their love,
No, it's not
their
about,
faith, their
it's
trust,
not just
their
about
confidence in
vaccination.
leadership.
Dr.
Not only
Sajid,
that.
it's not only about vaccination. You know, image, photo
That is one way.
in
That
postcards,
is one of the best.
photo in ration car, photo on
No,
ration bags, right? And then after that, this
No,
vaccination
this is,
drive.
Now
then
you are talking about
posters
vaccination
saying
today.
thank you, Modi.
We are talking about vaccination.
I'm talking about
Please,
everything.
try
I'm
to
talking about this
understand. Don't try
birthday
to-
event.
No.
Do you think
No,
that this
no,
birthday
today
event
we are
is
talking
an
about the
exercise in
vaccination.
correcting image?
It is the best birthday present by the people of India to their beloved Prime Minister. This is the best present possible.
Well, the way I look at it,
we are
people
thankful.
fear
The people
that they
of
should
BJP,
not
the
die
people of India
in the
are
next
thankful.
wave, like many died in the second wave, and that has led to a great
You see,
degree of vaccine.
even if it was not the
getting
birthday of
over
the
of the vaccine
Honorable Prime
hesitancy.
Minister, in the past also, the number have touched 1 crore, 20 lakhs, 1 crore 15 lakhs. And now the infrastructure is it is sufficient, is so much strengthened.
Dr. Sajid,
as
you
Dr.
and I,
Guleria and
every
Dr.
one of us,
Ola
know.
said.
Can you take
The
this
supply
guarantee?
line- the supply
Can you
line
take
is
this
gradually
guarantee that
streamlined.
over the weekend and the subsequent weeks, this will continue to
Not
be 2
every
crore
day 2
plus?
crores, not possible. Every day is not Honorable Modi's birthday. No, it is not. People have shown their love.
Why
That was
should
the
why,
one
no,
way
why
of
should a
showing their
vaccination?
confidence in
Why
the
should a
leadership.
government vaccination drive be timed to someone's birthday? And I'm saying, fine, it's a great
drive?
achievement,
There is no
but
drive.
do it every day.
People have gone to the centers of their own accord. It shows their love. It shows Mr. Modi will get vaccinated on your birthday and make a world record. And they
Okay.
have made a world record.
Okay, Mr. Sapal is now back with us. Mr. Sapal, you were saying.
Yeah. Again, the issue is, the bigger issue is the ICMR report, which New York Times carried last week, that how ICMR's report was manipulated to suit the political interest of Prime Minister Modi. That is the issue that should be debated. The issue is that the vaccination for kids, which the other part of the party for last 6 months, was to start on September 1, has again been deferred. Vaccination for under 18 kids. The issue is that those who had taken co-vaccine, those students who had to go abroad, they still cannot go abroad because co-vaccine is still not, it's not acknowledged, it's still not permitted travel abroad. These are the issues which are trying to hide behind the event management. And I was listening to Dr. N.K. Arora also before we joined. A great deal of promotion is being made that this is the first time that we are producing vaccine. It's all internal vaccine. India is so great country. Yeah, it is great. In 1963, this same company which is now producing the vaccine, Biological E, was producing 60% of DPT vaccine through the world. It was supplying to the vaccine has been our strength. Despite our strength, we have failed to vaccinate people in time. Right now, the duration between 2 doses of Covishield is 84 days. US, it is 21 days. UK has brought it down to 6 weeks to 8 weeks now. So why is this difference in data? Government is obscure. The Sero survey report was withheld from the ICMR. These things have come in public domain. So the issue is that on the scientific front, this government has failed. On the front of certification
No,
of
the larger
COVID, it has
point,
failed.
Mr. Sapal, you tell me the larger point. We are talking about, setting a political narrative. Do you think that with this 20-day exercise, the BJP will be able to convince the electorate in Gujarat and eventually the electorate in 2024 that the government was not at fault? The tragedy was such, and that actually we have done a lot. That's the whole purpose behind this exercise.
Well, BJP
And to
knows
also
all the
dissociate the Prime Minister with the failing.
disinformation by the opposition that this
The
vaccine should not be
BJP
taken.
knows-
It is BJP's
BJP
vaccine.
knows that
It
they
will be
have
harmful.
picked up
It will
this
create this
crisis.
complication, that complication. They should repent on their statements. They should take them back. They should say sorry
Dr.
before
Dan,
the nation
Dr. Dan,
that we
let
have
me reply
misled
to
the
it.
nation.
I was not disrupting you. Let me reply to it. The issue is that only thing BJP now knows is event management, Sanket. Only thing, that's their only USP now. But people who have lost their lives, who have lost their loved ones, they will not forget this by this propaganda. They will not forget by this propaganda.
The nation is
June,
grateful to
27th
all
of
the
June, Supreme
paramedical
Court
staff, the scientists,
27th of
everybody
June, Supreme
concerned.
Court of India directed the central government to assure and provide the compensation for those who have passed away because of COVID. We are in September mid. Government has not done anything. These are the issues which government should be worried about then doing this event management to
Are we discussing this issue today? Are we?
Of course, this is an issue.
Are we discussing this
why
issue
is
today?
it not an issue, Dr.
No,
Dan?
it is
Why
not.
the issue
It is
should be
today.
asked?
Today it is
Why
a world
the issue
record
should
which
be
has been
event
established,
management, which is
and
done through India
and the opposition is having. It is a headache for them. How could we achieve it? Why the people love the Prime Minister so much?
Discussing an event by
Oh yes,
public
that
money
is also
and
being
not
done in the
discussing
due course.
issue with
It
people
is
of
being
Delhi.
done.
This discussion, one moment, I'll have to come in here, one moment. Mr. Sapal as well as Mr. Dang, please do stay with us. Professor Bhatt, the point once again of this discussion that we are having right now is that this 20-day Seva Samarpan Abhiyan which is going on, do you feel that this is an exercise to, dehyphenate the Prime Minister from the failures of the second wave? That look, he is not responsible. He is the guy who has actually sacked a lot of people who were actually responsible. He has sacked many chief ministers, completely sacked and replaced many cabinets. If need be, more chief ministers will be sacked. So don't question him, question everyone else. He's actually the savior. He is the one who's getting you free vaccines. So you should say thank you to him. Do you think that this 20-day event is all about this?
Well, Saketji, I hope you'll give me some time to speak.
Absolutely.
You see, first of all, as far as the vaccination goes, please, we do need to remember that how the states had earlier mentioned, very vociferously said that, we want to take the control of vaccination, we want to purchase the vaccines. I had heard Mr. P. Chidambaram on your channel saying that there is no autonomy, and when it was given, we have seen that how each and every, most of the states then urged back the center that they should take the control and go ahead and do the vaccination. So, keeping this in mind, and of course this image makeover, the trying to correct, do image correction, the discussion which you have put in this debate, I wish to put forth here that, Mr. Narendra Modi as the Prime Minister of country has really changed the way people perceive and aspire to see the political leadership of this country. In fact, he is the one who has changed the paradigm that being at the South Block is not about, use of excessive power, but it is about, service with dedication. And a leader is the one who guides by a self-example. And it is not only the
But Professor Bhatt, with these repeated sackings of chief ministers, a complete overhaul of his central cabinet, and now this 20-day event,
you see changes.
if everything was well, then what was the need to do this?
Place in the cabinet, any change which is taking place in the cabinet, or whether it is in the chief ministerial position, it is something which keeps happening. It is
it does not keep happening. What happened in Gujarat was, for the first time in the history of the BJP, the level at which the cabinet was reshuffled at the center was unheard of in recent times. So this is not something which is business as usual, Professor Bhatt. So obviously the government realized, and Mr. Modi realized that something horribly has gone wrong. In the words of Mr. Ashutosh, a spectacular failure.
There were challenges across the world. There were challenges. It was not just the challenges which our country was facing. And we have seen now there was some, my fellow panelist was talking about your New York Times article. No one is questioning that there is more than a lakh cases of COVID which were happening, which are even today happening in US. And there people are not coming out, and participating in vaccination drives.
Professor
But
Bhatt,
here the kind of messaging that is
India,
where media has also played a very important role.
Questions will be asked of the Indian government, not the US government. So that little equation we need to fix right here.
Of
In
course,
India,
yes, definitely.
for what happened in the second wave, questions will be asked of the Indian government.
The question.
Yes.
But at the same time, what I am trying to say is that let us not quote foreign newspapers.
Okay, one by one, please. Mr. Ashutosh first, and then
everybody will like to compare.
For the last 1 year.
one by
Compare
one.
with the other nations.
Ashutosh first.
Why not? We should compare.
I did not.
When we say a world record, means
not
the whole
care-
world.
Mr.
That's
Mr.
a comparison with the other nations.
Dr.
Mr.
Sarjeet, one moment. Mr. Ashutosh is speaking.
Let me speak. I did not utter a word carelessness when I said spectacular failure. I think the whole world must have seen those floating dead bodies in Ganges. This has never happened in Indian history. Never ever. How can you justify this? The same
Again,
government
disinformation.
is saying nobody died of lack of oxygen. This is a pure lie. Supreme Court has said that NDMA has
Reports
failed
given
to
by the
deliver.
states.
Mr. Dung, please let me speak. You are an elderly figure. I don't want to say anything, but let me speak. Supreme Court has said that NDMA has failed, and who is the chairman of the NDMA? The Prime Minister. Supreme Court directly, indirectly has said. So India was a vaccine superpower. America placed orders for the vaccine in the month of April 2020. When we placed order, anybody knows this. Almost a year later. That's why India, which was a vaccine superpower, is still struggling. America has vaccinated 54% of its population double dose. India only 20%. Only 20%. Despite in America, there is a Republican lobby which doesn't want to vaccinate. There are states where the governors are not doing it. And the president is struggling with that. So don't beat around the bush. I know BJP, you are a BJP man, so you will ask that everybody loves the Prime Minister. We all want to love our Prime Minister. But can you justify why these dead bodies are floating in Ganges?
Dr. Sarjeet,
your reply. Even in Firozabad.
That's what I am telling
that's
you.
why I'm saying an image
it has
correction
been
exercise.
shown on the
I'm
television
saying
by
it's an
so
image
many
correction
channels
exercise, but will it
that
work?
this is a custom in certain parts of the state.
No, Dr. Sarjeet. I don't think that is correct.
And it doesn't
You can't
have any
pass
relation
this
with
off
the
as
corona
custom.
outbreak.
You can't pass this off as
Don't-
custom. No.
It's all disinformation. It was
What is
because of the
disinformation,
custom
Dr.
of that
Sarjeet?
place.
Dr. Dung, I am also
And
Hindu.
all disinformation, and by a particular section of the media,
Do we float
at a particular section, anything Modi is doing is wrong. Anything Modi is doing is wrong. It is inefficiently done.
No, Dr.
But the
Sarjeet,
people have
this is
shown
gonna
their
take a
love
while.
and confidence and trust.
I'm going to come back
They
to the
came
topic
2
of
crores
discussion.
25 lakhs
The point
today.
is you're trying to justify something that cannot be justified. There were floating bodies, floating corpses.
No, I'm not
in the Ganges,
justifying. I'm
and
just
this may be a
correcting
custom.
that it was a disinformation.
It may
it
be a
was
custom,
a disinformation,
but only for a minuscule
and it was
minority of people in
deliberately
Uttar
spread.
Pradesh.
Deliberately
Dr.
spread.
Sarjeet,
Deliberately spread.
No, I will give you we covered all of this. There were people, there were ambulances that were dumping, undisclosed bodies. They were dumping bodies into the river. There are pictures that we have. All of this was happening in Uttar Pradesh.
You are hurting.
The whole country knows it. You cannot fool all the people all the time.
Exactly, the whole country.
You cannot
the
fool
whole
all the
country
people
knows
all
this.
the times.
Gurdeep
You can
Singh
fool
Sappa.
a few people for some time, but
No.
not all the people for all the times. You
That's
cannot.
exactly That's exactly
And
my
Congress has
point.
miserably failed in the past.
Gurdeep
They
Singh
tried to
Sapar,
do
yes.
it and they failed.
Mr. Sapar.
They have been ousted now.
Dr. Dung, you
Dr.
know
Dung.
who is fooling the country. You know who is fooling the country. It's your party. On the floating dead bodies.
Yeah.
It is not just about dead bodies.
That is why the Congress was
it is
ousted, always
also
telling a
about
lie.
How many people
Again, that
died
habit
because
of
COVID.
disinformation,
This government
it has
to
stuck
have
to
data
them.
Only to
It's
create
stuck to
events.
them, like
This
anything.
government today does not have a data exactly how many people even died. In Gujarat, the total data was 10,500 deaths. And when they started this scheme to enroll these children who lost their parents, these 17,000, nearly 17,000 kids enrolled them were enrolled, and they had to stop the scheme, the registration of these children. So they know that the government has data only to do event management.
You have
They
all-
do not have the data of how many people have died. They do not have the data when the compensation will be given. They do not have the data how many jobs have been lost. They do not have the data how many people have suffered because of this. So this entire event management is only a gimmick being played out by BJP, whereas you are in the government, Dr. Dung. You are in the government. It is your job to see that people are looked after.
No.
No. It is your job. It is not the job of the Prime
It
Minister. to
clearly
implement.
means all the data given
This-
and the
Which
network
data?
is wrong. You want to tell this thing.
I just want to come in
say
here as I'm running out of
the
time.
data
Last
which is
word
being
to
shown-
Professor Bhatt.
Please
See,
tell
this,
me
one
the
moment.
data.
Can we
It
settle
is
this
all
issue
false.
of floating bodies?
What do you mean?
The point is that they were.
And don't you agree that the incidence of COVID-19 has gone down? And don't you see
That has
these
nothing to do
states
with
which are
government.
not
That is-
governed
that's
by
how the
BJP,
the
Kerala,
pandemic
Maharashtra,
spread.
Rajasthan,
400 years back, this was
2/3
better.
of the patients
This
are from
pandemic
Kerala.
creeps in a
BJP
way,
is not
then creeps, and then again comes
ruling
back.
there.
Okay, Professor
Dr.
Bhatt,
Somebody
I want
else
to come
is
to you.
ruling
The
there.
last
No,
word.
they have
Gentlemen,
nothing to
please.
do with the
Gentlemen, one
government.
And
moment.
in Maharashtra,
Dr. Sanjeev,
still they couldn't
for
contain
anyone
the
who
disease.
tries to convince the rest of the country that the floating bodies in the Ganges was part of some custom, no, that was not the case. We have ambulances on tape who were seen abandoning bodies, dumping them into the Ganges river, right? There was something that went horribly wrong, which is why an image correction exercise. Professor
It
Bhatt,
is
last
again a
word.
disinformation by a section,
Absolutely
by a
no.
section of the media.
Absolutely not, Dr. Sanjeev. If you want, I can play those videos again for you.
Image correction. What do you mean by image correction?
Here percentages are
There is
being
no
talked
image
about.
correction.
We just heard
The image is
two
already
top
bright,
doctors who
and
are
it is
involved
brighter
in the
now.
COVID mission in your program, who mentioned that in absolute numbers, we are at the top in terms of vaccination. That 77 crore, vaccine administered. It is not a small number.
Ms.
So
Bhatt,
we
anything
need
in
to
this
look
country
at the
which has been rolled out
the
ever
positive aspect
was
where
population,
there were
not
Congress
population.
government
It's
health
not a new
ministers
thing.
who,
You are
at the
governing
time when
India,
the
you are not
vaccination
governing
had
Be
begun,
little slow, be little slow.
were actually
Don't take that.
creating
You're not clear what you're
misinformation.
saying.
Okay, too many people talking at the same time. Our viewers won't be able to hear this. I've run out of time. Time out and a hard stop on the big fight. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us. The point is, obviously an attempt has been made to go for an image correction exercise. The big question is, will it work? Good night and goodbye.